Hello and welcome to another AM language lesson, a live lesson that we hold every day during the week at 4 o'clock in Malta. But in Malta today, it is a public holiday. So there are no actual lessons today, but you will have the same amount of lessons you would normally do, which from Tuesday to Friday, but the lessons will be a little bit longer to make up for Monday. So yes, today in Malta, it is a public holiday. Welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to look at something called question tags, and there are many different types of question tags. So we will have a look at a handful of question tags. Irina F, hello, privyet, and good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Leondina, buono pomeriggio. Sandra, guten Tag. Yes. So we are going to look at a handful, okay? A handful of something is another way of saying a few things or so, okay? Enough that you can probably imagine you can hold in your hand. Um, Now, um, as for this coming week, I need to remind myself who's doing the level test this week. I can't remember. I've lost track at the moment. So I'll find out who's doing the level test so we can talk a little bit about that. Evelina, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. I hope you're doing well. As always, guys, make sure that you like the videos and share. We have now done, I think it's over 130 live lessons. So there are a lot of lessons that you can now find that are completely free on our YouTube channel. It's not the same as a physical class. You don't learn to the same extent, but there's a lot of good content, and I hope to be able to continue doing this, and hopefully I can create some shorter videos, making it a little bit easier for you guys to find exactly what you might be looking for. That can then help you when you do have lessons at AM language. At the moment in Malta, it's sunny. Um, there's been a lot of rain, but the rain has now gone. But you can swim, and from what I have heard, it's the sea is really nice. Now we are coming to the end of September, and October is a great time to be in Malta. The weather is not too hot during the day, and you can still swim as well. Now, I imagine most people in Malta today might, because it's a public holiday, they might very well be swimming. So if you're watching later, make sure you fast forward the first 5 minutes. Bruno Okada, good afternoon, konnichiwa, and obrigado. So I hope you're doing well, and I hope you had a good weekend. So let's get into it. Okay, and we'll have a little look at what these question tags are, why they are important, and speaking makes a big difference as well. So we will have to look at the pronunciation. And Lida, good afternoon to you as well. Buenos dias, because it's still the morning where you are. What I would say is, guys, if at any point I speak too quickly, please let me know. Now, when we are looking at this subject, question tags, okay, there is something for everybody at most levels. So if you are between elementary and upper intermediate, there's definitely going to be something for you in this. So let's go through and we can look at the different types of question tags. The question tag on the thumbnail we will come to, but later on in the lesson. So let's just start off by trying to think about what we're doing with a question tag. Now, the first thing you need to know, quite simply, a question tag is asking a question. And that's it. We're simply asking a question, but the grammar structure in the way we go about it, now that is different and it changes depending what type of question. So let's look at the first one that we can look at over here. The first one that we're going to look at is this, okay? And I'm going to just make sure you guys can see this, okay? So I'm going to give you, just going to write this in here. Okay, and I'm going to give you a nice example. Let's see if I can give you 2 examples to begin with, and then we can go into the little activity that I have prepared for you. Okay, so this is the first example of a question tag. So you've got these 2 sentences. Is she Japanese? And must I go to school tomorrow? Now, the question tag here is to ask a question in English, you must usually use one of the auxiliary verb. Now, an auxiliary verb such as be, do, have, or a modal verb such as can, will, may. Now, I've put here 2 examples. Now, with the first one, we have a verb to be. The auxiliary verb actually takes on this form here. Is she Japanese? So we start our question with is. And then with the other one, we can use must, which is a modal verb. Now, what about the intonation? When your question begins with is, must, and most of the time, we need to go up at the end. So we need to think about how we go about it. So if we listen to the first one, is she Japanese? Is she Japanese? Is she Japanese? Is she Japanese? Knees. So the end bit, we go up. Is she Japanese? Now, I should still say this. With Jap is still the syllable stress. But ease goes up, okay? It goes up. Now, does this work if I do that? Okay, I'm going to do that as the sign of up, okay? Japanese. So we have to go up at the end. Now, with the other one, must I go to school tomorrow? Must I go to school tomorrow? Tomorrow, we go up as well. So that's the important thing. Question tags, we're usually going to go up with some exceptions. But we need to know what to choose, and that's the hard bit. Now, let's look at this example here, and what do you guys think? What would you guys put here? You've got you like German food. You like German food? What would you put here? What is your typical first go to respond? What's your first thought here? What word goes here? Alida says do. Excellent. Why? Because this is a normal standard question. Now, we then have to think about context because technically I could put lots of things there. So we have to be a little bit careful. So let's look at this one. Let's see. What do you guys put here? So we're going in slightly easy, obviously, because I said there's something for everybody, and we will gradually work up the scale and make things a bit more difficult. What do you think about this one here? You play chess. There are actually two possibilities here. There are two possibilities that we can go for. Leondina says can. Do you agree? Is this an ability question? Can you play chess? Do you agree with her? Do you think there's another possibility other than can? Can or do, says Alida. So do you play chess? Can you play chess? Both are correct. But you could say, can you play chess? And do you play chess? Both have the same meaning. Right, let's go for this. This one here, I'm going to make a little bit harder. I'm going to give you a choice. Okay, you need to write this in two different ways. Okay, one, you need to write this in a present continuous sentence structure. Two, future continuous. Now, I'm just building on from what we looked at last week. Just want to see who here can write this in two different ways. So we've got one, present continuous, which is what Leader's gone with here. Is she coming to your party? Is she coming to your party? Alida says will. Okay. If you're going to write this in the future continuous, will, but we need something else. We need something else. Yes, Leodina B, and that's exactly it. So, is she coming to your party, or will she be coming? Will that would be more correct? Will she be coming? Will she be coming to your party? Both are possible. And this is the other thing. You will find, just like with the previous one, that sometimes you can have you could have do and can. You can sometimes have is and will, but the grammar meaning might change. So let's look at the last one in terms of what we're looking at. And I'm going to ask you to choose based on what the meaning you need to actually give. So I'm going to give you two options here. A, okay. Actually, let me just do it like that. Okay. All right. There's more than one answer for this one. A request for a future action. You've put in can. Now, there's more than one. There's more than one option here. Can is one. Can you? Ooh, actually, does that work? Can you be able to help me? For future request. Not quite. Okay, could you be able to help me? No, that's not going to work because don't forget, guys, be able to is another way of saying can. So really and truly, will is an absolute yes. Will. Would, yes, is the other. Would and will. Will and would are the two ones you can use here. Would you be able to help me? Will you be able to help me? Those are your two modal verbs. It's a request for a future action. Now, I can see why you've gone with can. But if you go with can, you've got to change to can you help me? If you're going to put in be able, there's no point using can and be able to in the same sentence. You're repeating yourself. It's better to go with will and would. Excellent. Well done, guys. I mean, that one is probably the hardest one that we've looked at so far. So let's move on to the next type. Now, the next type here is slightly different actually. The next type is, well, I'll show you actually. So I'll give you the background to it. Let's see if it works when I do this. And let me give you one simple example. So if you want more information than a simple yes or no answer, you must ask a question starting with one of the following question words. Now, these are called WH questions, but you've got what, where, when, why, which, who, whom, and whose, as well as how, such as what did you say? What did you say? The difference is the intonation. Now, what I would say is if you're going to go with what, where, when, how, and who. Actually, let's not forget who and how. Who are you? You got what, where, when, who, and how. In this case, your intonation goes down. Everything else, your intonation goes up at the end. But with these five, your intonation goes down at the end of the sentence. The question, such as, what did you say? What did you say? What did you say? You say. You say. What did you say? What did you say? So this is really important that we get the intonation right. We shouldn't be going up with these examples. Same would be if I go with this one here. Where does she live? Where does she live? Where does she live? Where does she live? She live. She live. You'll also hear something else that I'm doing. Okay? She. Where does she live? She live. She live. She live. She live. Okay? What am I saying? Sh live. Okay? Sh live. Sh live. I'm putting them together. So when I go, you say, she live, we put the two words almost together. The last vowel is not said. We properly. It blends into two. So that's why you have what did you say? What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? What did you? What did you say? What did you say? Where does she live? Where does she live? Where does she live? She live. She live. Where does she live? So the pronunciation is just slightly different. So we now are going to go into this bit, and the question here is, what do we use? What do we use? Let's go with this. And we just need to make sure that in terms of the meaning, that we get this one right. Now, we've got two different type of things that we can think here. I would like you to think, actually, instead of me giving you hints, how many types of ways can you ask this question? Can you use what? Can you use how? Can you use who? Can you use when? Can you use whom? Can you use whose? How many ways can you ask this question? So the final R is not pronounced. This is going with the previous. Oh, I see what you mean. It actually, to be honest with you, Evelina, just to give you a little bit more background to this. Let me see if I can show you what I mean. I should probably do a lesson on it, but I'm actually referring to this, Evelina. It's called the schwa sound. So if I say shall live, the is a schwa sound. It's really weak. So it's not really a r. It's not a r sound. It's just an sound. A live. So a leader says, okay, when did you know the answer? Why did you know the answer? How did you know the answer? Now, how did you know the answer and why did you know the answer? Those works. When did you know the answer? Potentially, yes, that makes sense. Okay. But like always, we go down at the end. Now you've got this. We're going to look at the pronunciation of this. When did you know the answer? When did you know the answer? When did you know the answer? The answer. The answer. The and answer, they become one. But even more than that, we include know the answer. Know the answer. We treat it almost as if it's one word. We treat it as one word. Know the answer. Know the answer. Know the answer. Know the answer. The stress is on the know, and there's a stress obviously on answer. Well, we'll do one more of this one. Let's go with this. This time, I'm just going to tell you which one I want you to tell me based on the meaning. So which one do we use to locate the specific book? Alida's gone straight away with which. Which book have you borrowed? Which as well. Leondina says, yes, excellent. That is exactly it. That's the precise one that we look at. Okay. Now, let's look at the next thing. The next one that we're going to look at is just how you go about. Let me show you this actually. I think that's the best way of looking at. I'm going to start making the tasks a little bit more difficult, and you all got the last one right. So we quite often want to ask a question containing a preposition. In spoken English, the preposition is usually put at the end of the question, as in the following examples. Now, I'm just going to give you two, and we just are going to have a very important reflection on how do we know which preposition to use, because this is going to make a really big difference. Now, you got who. Who did you go to the party with? Who did you go to the party with? You can go down at the end of this sentence, party with, party with, party with. Now, party with is the preposition of party because you party with people. It's a party with people. Okay, so don't forget with is the preposition of party. This is when you're talking about people, though. Which is why we need to know the context. And then we've got who are you talking to? Now, talking has more than one preposition. You can say talking with, for example, talking about. So why is it to? The indication is in who. So if you're using who plus talking, it's going to make to in a question, okay? Think of it this way. So the preposition of talking is to when your subject is who. Okay, so who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? We aren't going to say who you talking with, because that's not the preposition we go with when we are creating a question tag with who and talking. We want to know to whom. So let's have a look at this. I'm going to leave the preposition out. So it's going to be up to you guys. Can you work it out? Can you have a go at thinking what preposition you guys need to use depending on the question? Let's see what you guys come out with. Where is John? Now we need to think of the preposition. What do you guys come out with? Where is John? Remember, we need to go with a preposition. This is going to be a preposition of place, okay? Preposition of place, okay? Of place of origin, actually, to be precise, okay? So this is a preposition of origin. Now, these don't change. So once you know one, you know all of them. Alida says from. Where is John from? Do you guys agree? Leondina does. Does it sound right to you? Where is John from? Yeah, that is the correct answer. From is the preposition of place of origin. Okay, let's go again. What kind of place do you live? Now, this is the preposition of live. Alida's gone for in. Do you agree with Alida? What kind of place do you live? Okay, so both of you gone for in. 3 of you within. What kind of place do you live in? Okay. In. Good. Well done. Okay, let's go for one more. Now I'm going to make this a bit harder. This is the last one. Let's see what you guys come out with. I'm going to give you the context. So in this context, what did you say? Something something. The person said something they shouldn't have said. I forgot the said bit. So think about that. Alida asks, "Oh, can you say where is John on?" No. Where is John on? No, I can't think of a context where we would say where is John on. You could say maybe which mountain is John on. You could say which. If it's a which question and it's a mountain, let's say which mountain slash or island for that matter is John on. Then you can say on. But it's got to be a which question and it's got to be to do with a mountain or an island because on is the preposition of mountain or island. So that's the only way we can really use on. You might hear some people say where are you at? But that's not I don't that's just something you hear in films, to be honest with you. You'll hear it a lot in American English, but I would not use it personally. Bruno Okada, about me. Okay, so why did you say about me? Oh, close, close. I'll give you a clue. The first letter. Okay. 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 The first word has 4 letters. Begins with T. What did you say? Let's see. Let's see if my attempt to help you guys has worked at all. So you're thinking of a 4-letter word. Oh, what did you say? The second one is going to be starts with an F. So you're thinking of four letters for the first word beginning with T and 3 letters for the second word beginning with F. I'm going to give you a minute for this one to see if any of you can think of the answer. Okay, Alida's come in with that for. So what did you say that for? Let's see if people agree with you, Alida. Guys, just type yes if you agree with the leader, or tell me what you think the actual answer is. If you think she's wrong, tell me what you think the answer is. If you think Alida is right, just say yes. So Alida has gone for, what did you say that for? Do you agree? What did you say these for? No, we're not going to go with these because of what? What is going to be specific to one thing, which is why these isn't going to make sense. In this context, it's not that you can't use these with what, but in this context, we've got what did you say? We know it's one thing, so no, we can't go plural on this one. The correct answer is that for. Okay, so Alida was right here. What did you say that for? That for. Now, do we say it like this? So, do we say that for or that for? So, do we say, what did you say that for, which is A, or do we say B, what did you say that for? So, is it that for or that for? Leader says A, that for, that for. Well, it is easier to say that for. We're not adding the extra T. So, because of time, I'm going to speed up here. Oh, okay, good. All of you've come in with the correct answer. Yeah, it's A. Yeah, that for. That for. Okay, let's move on. Now, we're now going to move on to the type of question tag that I spoke about, well, that I put in the thumbnail of this lesson, okay? And it's a special type of question. Is the tag that English speakers put at the end of many statements, okay? So, it's a lovely day, comma, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't. So we're saying, isn't it? Is, isn't, isn't it? Isn't it? It's more of an isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, I can't use phonemic transcript, which is what I would prefer to use. But simply put, it's got this, isn't it? It's a lovely day. It's a lovely day today, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? So when you use this type of question tag, you go up at the end of the sentence. And the other thing that you need to know is that we can use a lot of different ways of creating this type of question tag. But when you create this question tag, you can use quite a few ways. You are a teacher, aren't you? Yes, that is the type of question tag that we are looking at. So what we need to know is we need to know that you can use you can use a few things. We can use the auxiliary verb. We could use a modal will it. Yeah, you could use a modal verb. Can you use a WH one? Can't think of an example. Maybe, but I can't think of one. So let's go for this idea. Okay, let's see how you guys do. Okay, now, but the question is, what do we actually make the question tag with? Do you live in Frankfurt? Tell me which option is correct. Which one is correct? Nope. Okay, so you've got a few options here. I've given you 4 in the end. So let's see. Aren't you, do you, must you, and don't you? Okay, so Leondina has gone with number 4, don't you? Evelina has gone with aren't you? You live in Frankfurt, don't you? You live in Frankfurt, aren't you? Most of you have gone for D, and D is the correct answer. This is going to be don't, okay? So you live in Frankfurt, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Now, this is positive. We're using a negative to confirm a positive, okay? So this is because we think they live in Frankfurt. Let's go again. I'm not going to give you an option this time, but I'm just going to say to confirm they are old. This is the meaning of what we're going for. Leonina thinks it's aunt. Alida also thinks it's aunt. Bruno thinks it's aunt. Good, yes, and that is the correct answer. Aunt. His parents are very old, aren't they? Aren't they? So this one, you go up. With these question tags, you go up. Aren't they? Aren't they? Isn't she? Isn't she? Don't you? Don't you? You go up. Let's go for one more. I'm going to give you an option for this one as well. Okay, so Sandra thinks it's C. Leondina thinks it's C. So you guys are saying you will remember to call me, won't you? Okay, Bruno agrees that it's going to be won't you? Won't you? Won't you? Okay, I mean, this is kind of a difficult pronunciation. People sometimes confuse won't with want, which we don't want to do. All of you gone with won't. Tell me, what is the correct pronunciation? Um, whoa, oh. Hmm, hard to put down in normal writing. Won't you? Want you? Won't you? That's what I'm trying to go for. It's not the correct. It's difficult without the phonemic transcript, just using it normally, because it's not how I would normally write it. So you've got the option. Is it won't you, want you, or won't you? Won't you? So you will give me a call. Won't you? Won't you? Won't you? Okay, all of you so far going for A, and that is correct. A is the correct answer. Okay. There isn't really an H in it, though. It's more to get the woe sound in, to show you that it's a woe. Whoa, won't sound. It's the same as phone. It is O. Good, excellent, guys. So that brings us to the end of today's lesson. That is what we mean about question tags. And the final question tag is more like checking the answer we believe to be true. We're checking the answer. We're checking the answer that we believe to be true. We're like 99% sure that is the answer. But maybe we might be surprised by what they've said, and it makes us question. So guys, if you have enjoyed today's lesson, make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you click on the description below, you can find out more about AM Language. Go to the link and you can find out how you can have physical lessons at AM Language on the beautiful island of Malta. To all of you who have participated in the lesson today, Bruno, Alida, Evelina, Leondina, Arena F, and Sandra. I think I've mentioned everyone. If I haven't mentioned someone, then apologies. But to all of you who've participated in today's lesson, thank you so much. I will be back same time tomorrow, 4 o'clock Maltese time, to give you a YouTube AM Language YouTube lesson. You're welcome, Bruno. You're welcome, Alida. You're welcome, Evelina. See you tomorrow. You too, Leondina. You as well, Sandra. You have a good evening as well. And you too, Arena F. Thank you so much, everybody. See you tomorrow, same time. And bye for now.